folks, thanks for joining me today. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be painting a heart onto a Mad River stone. And this stone is not like your typical Mad River stones that I've been painting on. This one is almost pink. It's got some pink to it. And you can really see it when it's wet or after I resin it. So stay tuned to the end to see the final product. It does look really nice. Like with a pinky hue to it. So it's quite an interesting rock. And there's not too many of them there that I've been able to find. But this one I snagged up and I brought home. So I drew a heart on the rock with a stencil. And now I've painted it with 2 coats of white as a primer or a base coat. And then I'm just going to try to find the center. I'm not going to be too worried about the exact center. And then I am using a silicone guide that I purchased from the Happy Dotting Company. And you can get your own as well by following the link that is in the description below. And I'm just adding in some grid lines. So I am getting sort of top, bottom, left, right, and then the in between one. So I end up with sort of a center point, which is where I just put the circle in there now. And then I use my compass just to draw some circles. And again, these are just guidelines for me to ensure that I am going to have things as symmetrical as possible. What I'm going to be doing in today's tutorial is I'm going to be painting a flower in the center. I'm going to add some leaves. I'm going to add some other flowers. And I'm going to make this look really, really pretty. Now, I am going to be using some of my newfound knowledge of one-stroke painting in this guy. I'm also going to be using a lot of different colors. So I will try to remember to tell you which ones they are. But if I do forget, they are all listed in the description below. So the brand names and the name of the paint will be listed in the description below. So right now I'm just using those guidelines and I'm sketching on with my General's charcoal pencil. This is gray. It's a gray pencil so that I can see it on the white background. And I'm just sketching on where I want things to go. So I did the center of the flower and then the petals of the outside of the flower, added in some leaves. Now I'm doing some other flowers that I think that they should pop up here and there. And then I do some sort of squiggly lines. I think that's what I'm doing now. Yep, that's the little squiggly lines. And I'm trying to do whatever I do on one side of the heart, I try to do on the other side of the heart. So that way I can keep it symmetrical and as much as possible anyways, and make it look really pretty. So it is a little bit off-centered and I'm okay with that. Because once I'm finished and it's resined, it looks amazing. And you do not see that it is kind of off-centered because I do fix it. So I am going to start off in the middle and then work my way out. And I do spend an awful lot of time on the center part. I do a little bit of it. Well, I get it all painted on here right now. And then when I move on to the leaves, I kind of paint over some of these red sprigs, I guess, or like the center of the flower. So I have to go back and fill it back in again. So I'm right now for the bigger petals in the center there, I am using Red Alert. And in between those, you will see very shortly, I do smaller ones and I actually use a different color red. And it's called Country Red, and it's by Americana. So I do that in between because I want the smaller ones to look like they're underneath, and the bigger ones, the ones I'm painting right now, are on top. And I guess in hindsight, I should have done the small ones first and then the dark ones. So Um, I'm doing the dark ones now, and you can see they kind of mesh into each other, and that's not what I wanted. So, like I said, I do go back and I fix that up, but I don't do that until after I put on the petals that surround the red parts of this the center of this flower. I don't really know what kind of flower it is. It's just something I wanted to paint. I like the colors. I didn't look at any pictures or have anything in mind. I just went for it. So I find that my best creativity comes out when I do that. And this is what I'm doing. So right now I'm using Pink Blast. It's from Craft Smart, which is the Michael's brand of paint. Um, they blend really well, and that's why I like them. So I use them a lot when I'm blending. And then I am using Baby Pink by FolkArt on top of the petals, and I'm blending the two together. So I have a gradient color that starts off light pink and goes down to dark pink. And then I take my fine lining brush and I dip it into that pink blast color. And I start from the bottom, like where the red parts are, and I swipe up in little lines. And then I get the baby pink and I start at the top and I bring it down in quick little wisps of the paint so that I get sort of like a mixture of the light color to the dark color, sort of merging into each other in the center. Some of it's going up and some of it's going down, and it's a really cool effect. Um, if you wanted to stop the video and I don't know if you can blow it up, but you could always take a screenshot and blow it up so you could see a little bit better what I'm doing. Um, or you could even slow this down. I know that I'm going a little bit fast. This video was originally almost an hour and a half, and I have cropped it, I have edited it, I have done so much to it, and then sped it up to get it into the 24 minutes that it is. So if I sped it up any faster, then it would be like a blur and you wouldn't be able to see exactly what I was doing. And I can't talk that fast. So uh, that's um, that's what I had to do for this guy, and I was okay to do that. So um, I find that sometimes when I get into creative mode, I don't even pay attention to the time. I have no idea how long I've been painting or what time of day it is. Usually my belly starts to tell me when I get hungry. Um, that it is close to dinner time or close to lunchtime. But yeah, I have no concept of time. I don't have a clock in my craft room. And I just go, keep going. And I did this one in a couple of sittings too. Like I didn't do this all in one shot. So it did take me a little while to do, but I'm so pleased with the outcome. So I truly hope you stick around. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or maybe your favorite water with your favorite flavoring in it and sit and watch as I do all of this rock. So this part is the most time consuming doing these petals because I was trying to desperately keep the red colors and so I was painting in between. But like I said, eventually I go back and I fix it all up with the red because I do paint over it and I'm not perfect. I just try my hardest and know that with acrylic paint, it's very forgiving and all I have to do is let it dry and I can come back and fix up whatever I need to. So that's what I enjoy so much about acrylic paint. It has so many abilities that in how you can manipulate it and how you can make it look the way that you want to. And if it doesn't, you just let it dry, paint over top of it, and start again. So um, it's it's a great medium to use. And there is other products out there like I've been learning how to do one-stroke painting. And I've been learning about all these different products that you can use to slow down drying time, to be able to blend it, uh, to get the exact look that you're wanting. So I'm very pleased with trying this out, and what I learn, I'm going to pass on to you. So stay tuned for that. So this is part of my Valentine's Day specials. So I know they've been coming out fast and furious, and I've been having so much fun creating all of these different designs with different techniques, different color choices, um, different paints even, by using uh, metallics and glitter paints and things like that. Adding some bling bling even. I haven't done that in a while. So this one here actually gets some Swarovski crystals that I had laying around that had intended for a different project but never got around to it. So I thought this is the one. This I'm going to put it onto here. So this one gets some cute little bling blings, and they shine so nice. So stick around for all of that. There's lots that's going to be happening in this tutorial. So as I've been yapping there, you saw that I went in and redid all of the red in the center. And I'm so glad that I did, because you can really see it's almost turning out like a, what are they called? Oh, a peony, I think. No, not a peony. I'll have to look that up and maybe post it in the comments to let you know what flower I'm thinking of. Or if you know what I'm thinking of, you leave me a comment and help me out because I'm drawing a blank right now. They come in purple as well, um, but I can't think of the name of that. That's so bad of me. Anyways, if you know what I'm trying to say, leave me a comment and tell me what flower it reminds you of. Um, and if I remember before the end of the video, I will just blurt it out. If I don't remember before the end of the video, I will post it in the comments below. So another thing too, just to remind you that if you like the video, you could just give me a thumbs up. If you're new, I encourage you to please subscribe. I have lots and lots of tutorials. If you're interested in viewing any of them, in the description below, there is a listing per year. And within those videos is the links to every single one of the videos for that particular year. And I have all sorts of new stuff coming out, so ring the bell and it'll certainly give you a notification to let you know that I've posted a new video and you're not going to want to miss it. So that will be your job to do while I do all of these creations and have fun doing them, and then have a lot of fun talking you through them. So, and speaking of which, I'm doing some leaves here, and I'm doing them with two different colors. So I'm doing the same technique like I did on the pink flower petals. I am using pistachio mint as my light green at the end, and near the bottom I am using Kelly green. Pistachio mint is by Americana, and the Kelly green is by DecoArt. I find that in my inventory I have an awful lot of DecoArt versus any other brand, but I do like to get the older colors out and play around with them. So I encourage you to do the same thing. You don't need to use the same colors that I'm using. I certainly encourage you to use what you have available to you. Change up these colors any way that you want to. I just happen to really like the pink in the center with the red, and now I'm doing purple. So what I'm doing here is I am using purple Pizzazz, and I am just basically pushing my paintbrush down, and then as I drag towards the line, I'm lifting it up. And there, those ones were too, I don't know, what do you say, like they weren't in uniform, so they weren't lined up properly. So I just used a cotton swab that was a little bit damp, and I just pulled it all off and redid it. So that's another benefit with acrylic paint, that when it's still wet, you can take it away very easily. So now I'm using this color is called Wisteria Purple. No, sorry, it's just called Wisteria. It's also by DecoArt. And I'm putting it on the opposite side of the that line. And now I'm just going to let them dry. So that way we have a dark color on one side and a light color on the other for the purple flowers. Little sprigs of something pretty. And now I'm going in and I'm outlining those red bits in the middle of the flower, and I'm using my watered down black paint. I find that the watered down black paint really allows you to get into some detail for outlining, and so that's what I do. I have a jar or a bottle of black paint that was almost done, like it still had paint in it, but it wasn't completely finished. And all I did was I added water to it. So I have a bottle of watered down black paint that is available at any time. And I just give it a really good shake before I pour it into my paint wells or into the paint tray. That way I have it available. I don't need to mix up anymore. And then I don't get confused when I have two blobs of black paint in my tray, which one is the watered down and which one is not. I mean, obviously I can tell with consistency, but I don't want to think about that. I just want to pour it out of the bottle. So that's what I do. So I've outlined the pink petals as well, and I'm doing this because I'm waiting for everything else to dry. And I'm just adding a little bit of details, some really thin lines coming midway down the petals, and it's just to define them a little bit more. So now I'm going to be doing the leaves, and I am using just the dark green. So Kelly green in its true color, straight out of the bottle. And I find that it's a lot better because it's sticking with the same color palette than throwing in some black. You still get the same effect, and I really, really like it. So I use the Kelly green as well for doing the lines in between those purple flowers, and I let my paintbrush continue past the last purple buds. And now I'm going to outline those, and am using black on these. I also did a black center in the center of the red parts on the flower. And I got all of my dotting tools from the Dotting Center. So if you're interested in getting a set of your own, I urge you to go over there into her Etsy shop. There is a link in the description below, and you can head on over there and get your own set, as well as many other products that she has available. Same with the Dotting Company, the Happy Dotting Company. That's where I get my molds from for when I do my perfectly round rocks, and any of the other really cool things that I can find over there. I support her, and I also support the Dotting Center. So make sure that you go and check those out and see what you can find. So I'm just going and I'm finishing up doing all of these outlines here, and then I'm just throwing in another bit of the dark green, so the Kelly green, in the middle, just to cover up or go over any of those black lines that I'd put on that may have gone over top. So now I'm going to focus a little bit on the bottom of the heart. So I want these to look like leaves as well, but they're going to be sort of like baby leaves, like the leaves that are just starting to pop out. And that's what I am doing with those. So I'm going to use the Kelly green first, And then I'm underneath it, I'm going to use that pistachio mint color. And it's separated. I'm not blending these at all. I'm keeping them separated because it's almost like, well, they're the baby leaves, so they haven't really grown up yet to have their colors sort of blend together. So that's what I'm doing this for. And just following the lines that I have on there. There's some lines that I have drawn on there that I don't use. And because of the tool that I used, I can erase it with an eraser, or I can use a damp cloth, um, anything like that before I resin. Because if you don't, they're going to show up and you're going to see them, and you may not be able to see them all that well right now, but as soon as you put resin on, resin and heightens everything, and it shows every little pencil mark that was not erased. So make sure that you get those erased. So these little squigglies that I'm putting on here, I'm calling them sketch squigglies, because what I'm doing is I'm basically putting it on with one stroke there. And then when I want to do more strokes, I make sure that they're off center, or they're not quite on top of each other. So they look like they're sketched on. So I did something similar like this last year for Easter. I did a sketched Easter. So if you want to check that out, go to my 2024 video for the year in review, and you can go to that particular one and see how I do it on there. But it's basically just leaving it so it almost looks like there's many swirls going in the same direction with the same swoop, I guess. So now I'm just outlining the bottom leaves there, and I'm separating them now. And again, I'm using my watered down black paint. And I'm just making it look part of the flower. And now I'm using some of that Kelly green mixed in with a little bit of black. And I'm putting on the veins on the flower, or sorry, on the leaves. So I do this for all of them. There's two different ways you can do it. You can do the swipe going, like pushing the paint up and into the middle vein, or you can do it the way that I'm doing it now, which I'm going from the outside of the leaf and I'm bringing it down into the middle vein of the leaf. So you could do it either way. I did it both ways. The first one I did was one way, and then I really liked doing it the other way. So now I'm just going to add on some black dots just in any of those white areas that I feel like needs to have something. And the rock isn't smooth, so unfortunately I didn't get perfect circles, but those are where the Swarovski crystals are going to go. So I wanted to have a black background for it so that they really stood out. And I don't put them on right away so they don't get covered in resin. I actually resined the rock and I let it dry, and then I glued them on. So they have their pure glitter all on their own. And I'm also outlining this in gold, as you can see me doing right now. And I'm just making it all really pretty. And then it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.